You were talking about bands wanting to go there.
They want to go there, but yeah. Yes, it's all about that relationship and being part of that. It's like a family. Great music stories, it's like a family, and you've got to be in that family. And then you can move on to another family, and sort of, move around a bit. But it's very important. So how do independent artists get their music to you? Is it all through
you, Emma?
Not just through
Emma. Hire Emma and Rob, and the world will be saved in 24 hours.
To be fair, I'd rather teach people how to do it themselves now. But anyway, we haven't got time for that.
I can imagine that line between like you and Rob, who are a great double act. I'm thinking of that scene from that Queen song, Flash. It's like, Rob, I love you, but we only have 24 hours to save the earth. Dun, 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 dun. Like that. You could be like an ad for the two of you.
Rob's going to love this. Let's tag him in. Oh, I love Stampede.
Although Rob is Dale and you're Flash, just get that clear now. You're the main character.
Even better. Yeah.
All right. Let's just get that out there. Okay.
Thank you for that.
So what fans should get in touch?
How do they? Is it via the website, or is it an MP3, or is it an email? What's going on?
My thing, and it's probably because what I do is totally uncommercial. I'm not selling anything. You can't buy anything. You can't advertise. For me, and that's just the way I do it. I try and do some decent broadcasting, and for editorially to hang together. I don't want commercials to take over. Even on community stations I've been on in the past, really, when it comes to board meetings, they're talking about P&Ls and advertising and revenue. And for me, the music has to be first. So everything else is off the table. So it is about the music. I think the thing for me, because it's not commercial, is the thing that I'm absolutely about at Great Music Stories is relationships. Music, not marriage.
Not putting it out there.
No. But relationships. And the bands that do tour bands or artists, the bands that do well are bands that want a relationship. Now, that doesn't mean to say we're their favorite. I'm not, I'm the first to say there are dozens of people out there doing a great job. And we need everyone on form for this scene. So it is about everyone. But for my show, it's about bands. So bands who want, and Sirens Fall, a great example. When we picked up She Runs With the Matrons, it was an old song, but we picked
She Runs With the Matrons.
And it was from you. I went through one of your old emails. We picked it up and put it out.
I know.
Immediate reaction. We then said, do you want to do an interview? And they were great fun. And that relationship grew because they keep in touch, I keep in touch, as well as doing band promos. I've always got themes on, like with the Women in Rock series or the this or the that. And I do a shout out, who wants to get involved? The bands that want to get involved, you tend to remember because they want to put in. Yeah. So bands that want to invest in the two-way relationship actually do really, really well. And bands who, and then if they do interviews, they're going to get playlistings. So if they get playlistings, more people hear them, more people request them. So it is a kind of, there's definitely a kind of approach I do, and the tour bands that do really well, the bands who invest time. And Monks Lives won Band of the Year last year. They won Band of the Year, I would say, because for 2 years they said yes to every interview. They wanted to contribute. They engaged with listeners during the show. They actually took time, even if it's just 2 seconds, say, hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Great to see you requesting our songs. Because they did that, so it was a two-way. I pushed them, but then they put back in. People loved them, and the thing for me, which I think the thing I would say for young bands is, at the moment, Late Night Legacy, Lost Search Party, Tarasca are all getting that kind of early lift with us, where we're beginning to give them the push, which is no different to what we did with like Wagons and Crows back in 2016 when they were relatively not hugely known on media. And so you've got to give them that thing. But I think the thing for me, which I would say to young bands is, and this is the thing for me that I find weird in what I do, and this is a sort of gone with the wind moment. Is there does seem to be a sense in a lot of bands, I don't know if it's what advice they get or whether they've been on courses, and you can tell a lot of people, it's like, to your point, we just want to be up here. We want to be in these places. That's where we want to be. And they have this sort of thing, which is a staircase to get there. And, I'm probably the second step at the bottom, where people wipe their muddy feet. I know my place. It's fine.
I disagree, but carry on.
But the point is, it doesn't, but my whole point is the point, if you take the ethos of there being a staircase, is at the top of the staircase is a big slide, because things always go up and down. Hello, woof woof. My sense is, for all bands, it doesn't matter what size you are, it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. Every band just needs to focus on having allies. And whether you're a band on your 8th album or you're a band on your debut EP, what you need to think, it's not that we've got this or we've got this, is we've got 10 allies, 20 allies, 30 allies, whoever the people that support the band, and look after them equally. And even if you have favourites, the trick isn't to let people know who your favourites are. The trick is to give everyone the sense that they're valued. Because the thing I find doing what I do is I feel it when bands who have gone out and progressed through GMS and gone on to other things, when you suddenly don't hear anything and you're doing features and they don't want to get involved and they never even get on Twitter and say hello to listeners. Because what that happens is the band loses you, and so it's really important is, and I've dealt with some big bands like Spike from the Choir Boys and Nick from the Casting Crew, some big artists. I'm forgetting all the other ones, I'm not going to name drop, and they're probably more, and the guys from The Answer, lovely guys, and they're as good as any young band who are starting out at being in touch with fans, because it's just what they do. They connect, they say thank you, they keep in touch. If you're doing a feature, they swing by for 5 minutes and say hi to listeners. And it's equivalent to meeting fans at a merch stand after a gig. It's that sense of commitment. And I think every band, I don't think it's about going up a ladder and how you go up a ladder. I think it's just about how you grow your base. And as you grow your base, you just never leave anyone behind. It doesn't matter whether it's me or Planet Rock or Forest FM or whoever or ERB, it doesn't matter.
Never leave anyone behind.
Yeah, don't leave anyone behind. And I'm not saying...
so nice.
But I think it's important because I've also seen work that other stations have done and other reviewers have done and photographers have done, giving their nights up to take pictures of bands. People giving a lot of their free time to help other people. And the thing is, none of them are stepping stones. They're all equally valid. And I think I think bands who have this thing, we just want to be here or here, and everything's a means to an end, it's a really bad business model. I think the right business model is to think success means you just have more allies, and your allies, you look after them. You just always have time for them. And remember the people that with you at the start, always welcome new allies. And therefore bands need, for me, to see part of their job as looking after their allies. I mean, clearly you're there to advise them, and other people like Rob and Claire at Central Press all do a great job to advise and guide and broaden their networks and get them in front of new people and to be an interface, and all that stuff's brilliant. But, I think bands just need to always have a view, which is, I've just seen it a few times. Bands that have done well when they had no one running them. 3 years later, when things are going well, it's like a bit busy. It's like, you're never too busy. Everyone it's not so much me. I see it on Friday shows. And the one thing I will say for bands who want to be on the show, and this is where Late Night Legacy, I'll name them, and Tarasca and Lost Search Party and Awesome Killers are doing really well at the moment. And Rebecca Downs, guess what? They're all on the CD. I'm not bothered about people talking to me on Twitter because I'm effectively quite a boring person, and even my extra large T-shirt is a bit tight. But what I do take an interest in looking on when my show's on Friday is which bands are talking to the listeners.
Yeah, I
really look at that, and if I see Matty from Dead Blonde Stars is great, Pete from Copperworm is great at doing it. If bands, it's not that they're listening to the show, but if I can see through the show they're actually taking time to talk to the people who ultimately will buy their records to go to their gigs and advocate them, then I think, okay, we'll put them on the show. We'll give them, we'll pull the CD out as we're watching it happen. So I think there is a thing, you've got to be in it. Yeah. And it's part of the job is to be in it. It isn't just recording songs and doing Facebook Lives and putting posters up. It's actually talking to people. Yeah, 100%. That's my view. And I might be wrong. I'm a fat old bloke and no one cares what I think, but that's we love you. Don't be so silly. That's what I do. 100%. I say to my clients for Radio Pluggin, I say, you're going to get
shitloads of airplay, right? Your job is to keep up with it. Your job is to talk to the DJs. Your job is to like their Facebook page. It's to comment on, anything that you're tagged in on. And if you can't keep up with it, then don't take out a plugin campaign. Go and do it yourself, And it does frustrate me because some of them still don't do it. But
they probably
they're the ones that don't get the most out of it.
But they will probably be, I'm not being funny, they will probably be the bands that aren't around in 3 years' time.
If you enjoyed this interview, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the Inside the Music Industry channel. This will make sure you're first to know when the next part of the interview goes live. But if you can't wait until then, check out the link to join our Facebook group in this video's description and get immediate access to the full interview there.